Hey True Seekers, this is Daniel, and we are doing the budget deck profile where if you get two starter decks of the same kind, you can go ahead and smash them together to create one solid deck. So this is the Treashell deck profile where we took two Treashell decks and put them together. Start off with the True Seeker Yana. She has the ability that every cine that is revealed to you has its base defense reduced by 2 points, which is really good. I actually really did enjoy this because the 8s became 6s much easier to defeat. And then I kept the power cards the same, which was 4 Love and 3 Holy Spirit. Basically, don't have a whole lot of Holy Spirit ammo, but the ones that I do have, they do require me to have at least 1 Holy Spirit, and then love power cards. And now I have multiple searchers for power cards in the deck, since I combined the two decks together. Okay. And then I decided to start off with 3 Mercifier. Mercifier is just awesome. You can either pay 2 for a 7, or you can shuffle him back in your deck to go grab an Animo that has 7 or less or 2 points, which is really fantastic because I use this to go grab my Fellowship Animo or my Animo I need to grow. And then I am doing a Quillo setup of 3 level 1 Quillos that grow into Quillo level 2. The love one. So the love one has an action that says search your deck for either 1 special power card or up to 2 standard power cards and add them to your power pool. So basically it's power card search. And then 1 Holy Spirit Quillo. So this Quillo has the ability that its fellowship bonus is enabled as long as this card is active in the same turn as a faith, hope, or love Animo. So this is extremely good just because it's a 10 fellowship bonus. And then, quite frankly, I have 3 and 3. I'd probably do 1 more of these because this is extremely helpful, but this is still really good as well. And because I don't have a whole lot of Holy Spirit Animo, I chose to run 3 hybrid level 1s, and then I have 2 hybrid level 2s. This one has the ability that once it's played from my hand to grow 1 of these, I can go ahead and search my deck for any 1 standard power and place it directly in my power pool. So that way
Awesome.
Got my power card search. Next one is the Fellowship bonus for Love Raspberry. So I would grab this with Mercifier, and then this is like a free, or not, it's not free, it's just a 7 for 2, and it's really good. Next up in our Fellowship lineup, we have Mongaroo. Mongaroo is 2 love for 8. Quite frankly, this could be like a Fairly. But right now we're focused on Red Letter Day, and I would actually think it'd be amazing to have Fairly and this in the same deck.
Yep.
And then it's your boy Saltini level 1. So this Saltini level 1 has the exact same stats as the original Saltini level 1, but his artwork is actually really cute. The other one was pretty cute too, but this one just like with the eyes.
He has a more like anime look to him.
Yep. And then it grows into Saltine level 2. This one has different stats. It still costs 2, and it's a 2 for 8 or Fellowship bonus Holy Spirit for 11. But has the ability that when it's played to grow a Saltine level 1, you just get to return the inactive Cine to your opponent's hand. So it's just like, oh, you played a Cine on me? Put that back. So that way you don't have to face that turn.
But you may face it every turn.
I may face it every turn, but I got 3 of these guys. Just keep bouncing it back. And then 2 Treashell level 1, 2 Treashell level 2, and 2 Treashell level 3. I honestly think the Treashell line would be much better in like Fellowship with Dinosaurs or a Love Hope deck, but this is the Treashell deck, so we gotta run Treashell.
Yep.
We probably slip in the Ultra, but since we're only focusing on just the deck itself, this is what we decided. And Treashell is still a 2 for 12. Get that. Yeah. If you get that. And its ability is that as long as the card's in small group, You can use it to provide 2 love power cards during your scoring phase, but if you do, she can't be activated.
Hey, it still can help.
Yeah, it's still really good. I would probably still just use it for 2 for 12.
If you have the 2 to use it for.
Yep. All right, so Murkay, 8 defense Cine with the ability that as long as this Cine is active, your opponent draws no more than 2 cards during their draw phase, regardless of their hand size.
Yeah. Just.
Grumpros. Grumpros has the ability, as long as this Cine is active, your opponent may have no more than 3 Cines in their small group at a time.
Animo.
Animo. What did I say?
Cities.
Sorry. No more than 3 Animo in their small group at a time. And then if they already have more than 3 when this one's activated or revealed, your opponent has to discard cards from their bench until they go down to 3. Hippo Critter. As long as the Cine remains active, the actions of your opponent's virtuous Animo have no effect.
Oof.
Lobster. As long as this Cine remains active, your opponent must discard the top card of their deck. So as soon as their turn begins.
Oh.
So before they draw cards, they have to discard.
Why are all of these Cines just so darn good this set?
It's basically The Empire Strikes Back.
Thanks for that.
You're welcome. Blinder as an action. It's 11 defense. When the Cine is revealed, blindly or at random, select 1 card from your opponent's hand and have them discard it. Oh, this guy, he's disgusting. Split Appedator. Action. When this card is revealed, your opponent must shuffle half the ammo from their small group back into their deck, rounding up.
Ugh. So that means if you have 1 in your small group, that one has to be gotten rid of too.
Waspits. When this Cine is revealed, select 1 card from your opponent's discard and set it aside. It may not return for the duration of the game.
Which is great when he plays it on your first turn when you have nothing in your discard pile, but really stinks for the rest of the game.
Yeah. And the thing is, this is really something that you can use against Lumini.
Right.
No, now, not Lumini, Stagnetic.
Now, the good thing about, good and bad thing about doing a budget deck the way that we're doing these by mashing 2 of the starter decks together, you cannot have more than 1 Cine of the same name, unless it's like an Ultra, which that makes the name different. So you're stuck with the Cines that are in the starter deck.
Yep.
You can't change them out at all because the starter decks have the same ones. So keep that in mind if you are going to be going this route.
Yep. And quite frankly, this was easier in some aspects and more difficult in other aspects.
Exactly.
So Mustard Seed. I can discard 2 cards from my hand, search my deck for up to 2 growth stages for an Animo in my small group that grows. Basically then you shuffle your deck. If you have 2 cards if you do not have 2 cards in your hand, you can't activate this. So this card is actually really good because this is how you basically go from Treashell level 1 to Treashell level 3.
Yep.
And you can use this to go grab Saltini, basically anything that grows in this deck, like Highbird or Quillo. Copper coins, because, I already have 2 level 1, so why not, or 2 level 2s that do the thing to grab power cards. So this is actually much better than the original.
Yes.
Look up to 7 cards from top of your deck. You may place up to 2 power cards you find them directly into your power pool. Shuffle your deck afterwards.
Levi does it better.
Yeah, because Levi just says, oh, you have that? Okay, then you just do the thing. Fishing nets is actually fantastic because it's just draw 2 cards. If this card's the last card in your hand, you draw 4 instead.
That is phenomenal.
And then we got two tools of the trade. You attach it to a love Animo, and then it gains +2. If it's going to Cassini, it gets +4. And then you got Myrrh to reduce the Holy Spirit cost of the Holy Spirit Animo you have. Pretty good because being able just to straight up reduce it, suddenly your ultras that you can run, they'll end up being a 3 for 13.
Yep.
So it's really good, and quite frankly, like you can put this on Nico Ultra, and it's like all 1 for 6.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. And then finally, this Premier card that's going to be in everyone's deck.
Ugh,
So
gross.
You have to attach it to an animal that has an ability. You negate its ability, and then for as long as it's active and this card's attached to it, your opponent may only activate 1 Animo per turn.
Ugh, so gross.
Yeah, and this is just so, and like there's actually quite a few of the Cindies that have abilities,
especially in that deck.
Yeah, so you got 4 of them that have abilities that are just priming to be negated, and like all these abilities are really good. So I would put it on Globster and just sit there.
Ugh, so gross.
Yep, and being able to do it more than once per game,
yeah,
is really key. So, anyways. He going to sleep?
No, he's playing with his toy and licking my foot.
Oh, okay. All right. So, anyways, so that is the Treashell deck. So let us know what you guys think about doing budget decks like this, where you take 2 starter decks and just put them together. We will be upgrading these over time, so that way.
Oh yeah, we bought booster box and all this, but for someone who's just starting out who wants to change up their deck, buying 2 is probably your cheapest option. To do this, but you obviously miss out on certain key parts that you may or may not want to add.
I mean, eventually you're going to want to add a Mega,
an Ultra, things like that.
Ultras, and
change up your Cinnies.
Yep. And quite frankly, there's a lot of really good Cinnies out there.
And if you wanted to change your Truth Seeker, unfortunately that's also something you cannot do just by buying starter decks, but if that were to be your option, you could do that and then go buy a single, from 3 Lions Gaming or something like that. Trade a single Truth Seeker with somebody else. There's a lot of options that you can do if you are on a tight budget, which we understand that happens. And so this might be a good option for you if you want to do more than just having your straight up starter deck.
All right. So, in the meantime, Truth Seekers, keep learning virtues and defeating Cinnies.